everyone, welcome back. It's Charlotte from At Charlotte's House. I am outside my house. It is a perfect sunny morning and I am going to try to make these planters look a little bit more inviting. Stay tuned. I am super lucky and I found these on deep discount and they are all weather. So I actually don't do anything to these planters during the winter. So the minute it warms up in spring, I try to make them look a little bit more inviting. Here's what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the dead plants from last season. I probably should have done it last fall, but I didn't. So I'm gonna try to start with the blank slate. You can see that there's some nice greenery coming here, and these I'm gonna try to preserve. Now, someone more organized than I would have a shovel. I'm using my hands. So this will be nice creeping ground cover somewhere else. So I'm just gonna take it out and save it on that tray. I want to let you in on a little planter hack. You will notice if I dig down deep, the lower 2 feet of my planter is filled with packing peanuts. And I do this for a couple different reasons. One, I don't have to use as much dirt. That's super awesome. Two, I still get good drainage, so that's super awesome. And three, I guess I only have 2 reasons. I should be removing all of this topsoil because this is the food for the plants, but I'm not gonna do that because I am lazy. I'm gonna figure out my arrangement. I typically like to start with 2 sort of taller plants in the middle just so I have some visibility from the street. And then I also like to have a couple vines that will grow and sort of drape over the planter. And then I sort of fill in with my colors. And then I think I'm also gonna come in with some of these guys, which will fill in. And then I think I'm gonna come in with some of these guys. And then the other centerpiece, I think this year I'm gonna bring in some bulbs. Now, once these bloom, they will be done and I'll have to swap them out, but they're a nice bit of color right now. I'm in Connecticut, so there's still quite a few plants that haven't hit our shelves because it's still pretty early in the planting season, but I thought that would be a nice little pop of color just for the time being. So I would say I have about 3 inches from the top of my planter to the soil. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to, if you squeeze the pot, that plant will come right out. And then you always wanna sort of massage the root ball a little bit just so those roots have a little room to grow. And I'm just gonna do that for both of these and place them. And then I'll go back in with my topsoil, but for now, this is about the right height and I can sort of see how I want to place everything. I'm just gonna break them apart. You don't have to be too gentle. Roots are pretty resilient, especially bulbs. And I should mention, my planters get pretty much full sun in the summer, so these plants just get baked. So I'm really picking plants that are pretty hardy. They can stand up to full sun. I'm not gonna be out here watering every day, and usually I can find plants that don't need me to water them every day. Obviously, all these plants are gonna grow, so I don't wanna pack them in too tightly, but I also don't want them to look too sparse at the beginning. Worst comes to worst, I can always transplant and get involved later in the summer if they really do become too overwhelming. But always double check. It says right here on the tag how far to space them apart, how high they're gonna grow. So that gives you a sense of, even though they're tiny little seedlings now, what their full size will be. So that's just something to consider. Now that I have these all lined up where I want them, I am gonna bring in some fresh potting soil. This has all the goods, and this is where I'm really gonna make sure that I like where they're placed, and make sure that soil is nice and compact around them. All right, the last thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give these guys a little drink. I find that these front planters always hold up pretty well, and I think mostly that's because I just choose plants that will work out here. So I think that's my most important tip, is that make sure you grab plants that work for the conditions where you're planting them. So there you have it. These planters took maybe 30 minutes to plant, maybe $20, $25 of plants. They will last all summer. I cannot wait to see how these fill in. They are so bright and cheerful already. I am loving this spring weather. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and have a great day, everyone.